Speaking about who we are, so I am Violeta. I'm a digital adoption manager for live events in EMEA. And today I'm joined by a more technical colleague of mine, Sachin, who is a cloud networking specialist within Oracle EMEA and who will be your presenter for the networking session that we have set up for today's call. I think that is all from my side. So I would like to pass over to Sachin now. Sachin, the floor is yours.
Hey, thank you, Vayu, for that. And hello,
You're
everyone.
welcome.
Thank you for joining today's session. My name is Sachin Sharma, and I'm working as a cloud network specialist in Oracle since 4 years now. I have more than 8 years of cloud networking experience and worked on cloud like Azure and AWS other than Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. In today's session, we are going to discuss on a new service launched by OCI, that is Network Firewall. Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Network Firewall is a next generation managed network firewall, intrusion detection and prevention service for your Oracle Cloud Infrastructure VCN, that is Virtual Cloud Network, powered by Palo Alto Networks. So before moving further, I assume we have a basic knowledge on the terminologies such as VCN, that is Virtual Cloud Network on OCI, subnet, Internet Gateway, which is used for internet connectivity to and from public workloads on OCI, Dynamic Routing Gateway, which is used to connect different VCNs or different sites with OCI, Transit Routing, North-South traffic, and East-West traffic. If in case someone do not have a knowledge on these terms, I could cover them in our upcoming sessions for basic networking concepts of OCI. For today's session, our main objective is to understand the network firewall and its capabilities. So I'll start with my presentation now. So now we get to know what is network firewall. Question is, why a network firewall? So if a customer or a user is looking to secure network traffic for their workloads running in OCI, network firewall is the right way to achieve that. OCI provides network security groups and lists for the subnets by default, which will allow traffic on the basis of source IPs, protocol, and port. To achieve more granular network security with features such as, you can see on my screen, stateful filtering, which enables customers to centrally create, allow, or deny stateful network filtering rules based on 5-tuple information for both IPv4 and IPv6, port, and protocol. Second is custom URL and FQDN filtering, which will allow our customers to restrict inbound and outbound HTTP or HTTPS traffic to a specified list of FQDN, including wildcards and custom URLs. Intrusion detection and prevention, that is IDS or IPS, and IPS actually, which enables customers to monitor network activities for malicious activity, log information about this activity, report it, and optionally block it also. Ssl Inspection, which enables customers to inspect TLS version 1.2 and version 1.3 encrypted traffic. This is achieved through integration with OCI Vault. So OCI Vault is something else which comes into the security section, but yes, you can keep your encryption keys over here safely in OCI, which will enable our customers to centrally manage and secure their encryption keys. We have a OCI logging integration with OCI, which will support enabling both traffic and threat logs for the security policy rules. OCI Network Firewall service is integrated with OCI monitoring services also, which will allow customers to enable alerts based on the number of blocked requests and other metrics. So without putting more effort in talking, now I would like to show you how OCI console looks like and what I am talking about. So hopefully everyone can see my OCI console screen now. Okay, I take it as a yes.
Not quite. We're still looking at the PowerPoint, dude.
Okay, so no worries. Okay, please tell me once you can see my screen now.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dashboard.
Sure. So this is how OCI console looks like. So I'll just go through where you can find the network firewall over here. If you just take your mouse cursor to this hamburger sign on the left side, you can see an option of having identity and security. When you click on this identity and security over here, you can see a firewall section which contains network firewalls and network firewall policies. If I click on firewalls over here, there are two options. One is network firewalls and the second one is network firewall policy. So network firewall is basically nothing but your entity, that is your firewall device over here. On this network firewall, you need to create a network firewall policy first and then attach it to the network firewall. So in a policy, what you'll be doing is you'll be creating rules to be defined on your network firewall. For this first demo, what I'm going to do is I will show you how to create a policy, that is a firewall policy. And what do you have in a firewall policy? Okay, so I have already created a new decryption firewall policy for my demo, for my other demos. But here I'm going to show you how to create a policy first. When I go ahead and create a policy, I need to name it such as test policy. And the second option which I get over here is list. So what does this list means? So network firewall lists are building blocks that let you group application types, URLs or IP addresses for use in a rule, which is coming into the fourth option. So lists are the first resource you create when you create your policy. So first thing which you can see in list is application list. So what does it mean? So you can create application list to allow or deny traffic to a group of applications. You can include a maximum of 25 applications in each list. Customize the definition of the applications in the list using the following criteria. I will show you now. Suppose I would like to have my workloads which are running on OCI to have RDP connections over the internet. So I'll create an application in my application list saying that RDP. And the RDP uses TCP port over here. So I'll choose UDP or TCP. I'll choose TCP protocol over here and just put 3389. Okay, it is showing an error over here. Invalid range, because you need to put a range over here in the application or the application list. So if it is single port over here, if it is not a range for my application, I'll put 3389-3389 over here. Like the same way, I want my Linux workloads to get SSH connections from the internet from a specified IPs or from the internet for all the IPs. What I'm going to do is I'll create another application and say TCP, and for port number for SSH is 22-22. So what I have done over here, I have created an application list with RDP and SSH for port number 3389. Now I can put into the rule and allow that particular traffic for my workloads. So I'll just create another application list over here just to showcase you. Now comes the URL list. So you need to create a URL list to allow or deny traffic to a group of URLs. Okay, you can include a maximum of 25 URLs in each list. So suppose this is the list, I can include 25 URLs in this list. Like this, I can have 24 more lists actually added to my URL list. So total number of URL lists I can have is 25. In each URL list, I can have 25 URLs defined over there. Okay. You can use wildcards like asterisk and caret in a URL to customize matching. Yes, don't enter protocol information like HTTP or HTTPS into that. Suppose I want my workloads or my users who are using workloads on OCI for the outgoing traffic over the internet gateway to the internet to access only oracle.com, okay, or to access suppose facebook.com, okay, and not to access linkedin.com, okay, for the job search working in some other company. So what I'm going to do is I'll add URL list for the allow. So allow URL suppose, and I'll just say a wildcard with a star.oracle.com, and I'll say for www.facebook.com, they can access it. So I'll create it, add URL list. Now I want a URL to be denied. Okay, by default everything is denied, guys. By default everything is denied. If I'll not create a deny URL list over here, still if I'll allow only these URLs in my rules, by default everything is denied. Every URL is denied. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a deny URL list over here, because that will be logged. I need that to be logged with my rule. So when I'm going to search it into the log section, I can search it with the deny URL rule over there. So I'll just put add URL list over here, just say deny URL, and I'll put netflix.linkedin.com. Okay, so I've done like this, add URL list. Now I'm just adding the list, application list, then URL list. So like this, you can add multiple number of URL lists, that is 25, and within each URL list, you can add 25 URLs over there. Now comes IP address list over here. So you can create IP address list to allow or deny traffic to a group of IP addresses or CIDR blocks. Both IPv4 and IPv6 addresses and CIDR blocks are acceptable. You can include a maximum of 25 IP addresses or CIDR blocks in each list. Each IP address is entered on its own link within the list. Suppose I want some of my IP addresses only to access my workloads in OCI from subnet to subnet or from VCN to VCN, I can put it over here. For my demo, I have put any IP address over here, that is 0.0.0.0, because it's a demo, but you can put an address range for your private IP address range, such as 192.168, you can put 172.164. If there is a public IP address range which has been assigned to a company, you want that public IP address range only to access your workload. Okay, you can define that over here and allow the traffic with that. So I'm not adding anything, adding IP address list over here. By default, it is an any IP address. So when I move, so I've created an application list, just saying RDP. I've created a URL list, which is allowing URL for my oracle.com, deny URL for my linkedin.com, IP address list, any I have created for now. Then comes map secrets and decryption profile. That is very important. Map secret and decryption profile. What does it mean? So if your policy uses decryption rules that use certificate authentication, you must set up map secrets and decryption profiles. So you can set up a maximum of 25 map secrets and 25 decryption profiles for each policy you are having. For this policy, I can have 25 map secrets and 25 decryption profiles. Okay, map secrets and decryption profiles are the second resource you create when you create your policy. First resource we have created, that is less. Second resource is map secret. Map secrets are secrets that you create in Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Vault. So your vault looks like this. I've just opened it for you. This is the key vault which I have created to map my secret to my policy over here. We'll not talk much about vault over here because it is a separate topic. But there you'll be putting your encryption keys, which will be mapped with this map secret over there on the firewall policy. So which this Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Vault, and you can map to inbound or outbound SSL keys for inbound connection and for outbound SSL keys. So these secrets are used to decrypt and inspect SSL or TLS traffic with either Ssl Forward Proxy or Ssl Inbound Inspection. I'm going to show you where you can use these policies, these map secrets in decryption profile for Ssl Forward Proxy or Ssl Inbound Inspection. So what is the difference between Ssl Forward Proxy and Ssl Inbound Inspection? While creating this, I'll show you over here. So I've created already a vault, a secret in the vault. So I'll just name it as map secret over here, and I'll use either for Ssl Inbound Inspection. Suppose I am running a web server on my workload in OCI. I want to inspect every traffic which is coming for my website, which is running on OCI over the internet or from outside OCI. I'll put a Ssl Inbound Inspection. It will decrypt the incoming traffic, okay, with my map secret, check if the traffic is malicious or not. If it is not malicious, it will again encrypt it and send it to my workload, okay. Ssl Forward Proxy. For the traffic which is going out of my OCI, it will decrypt the traffic with the rules which I have created, check it, and then send it outside over the internet. So for this demo, I have created for Ssl Forward Proxy because I'm not having any web server running on OCI on my workload. So I have created Ssl Forward Proxy over here. In my vault, I'm having my key vault, which I've already created over here. I've just shown you over here. And this is my key vault. I have already created a secret in my key vault with a secret name and version number 1. I'll add this map secret. I'm not adding it over here because I've already created it. And I'll add it, no worries. So I have added it. Now comes decryption profile. What should be my decryption profile? So when I come over here in the decryption profile, I'll just give it as decryption profile name. Decryption profile name. Okay. See, decryption profile type can be of Ssl Forward Proxy or Ssl Inbound Inspection. You can get both also. Okay. So for my demo, I'm creating for Ssl Forward Proxy. Now I have too many options for this. That is server certificate verification. That is block expired certificate. Okay. Block untrusted issuer. Block unknown certificate. Block certificate timeout. Restrict certificate extensions or auto include alternative name. If in case you do not want something in these options, you can just uncheck it and create your decryption profile. When it goes to unsupported mode checks, you will be having block unsupported version, okay, for your SSL, and block unsupported cipher. If you're checking it, it will check it. If it is unsupported, it will block it, okay. If you do not want to do that, you can just uncheck it over here. For the traffic which is coming, for the traffic which is for the inbound inspection for my web server, as in my example, which I have told you, which is coming from the internet or from outside from the OCI, I need to create Ssl Inbound Inspection for my web server. For that, I can actually block unsupported version, that is SSL version which is not supported, or block unsupported cipher over there, that is sessions if the SSL cipher suite is not supported. I can go for block if no resources, that is block session if not enough processing resources are available. For this is for Ssl Forward Proxy and this is for Ssl Inbound Inspection. For Ssl Forward Proxy, I have put it in my demo. You can do the same thing for Ssl Inbound Inspection also. I'll add the decryption profile over here. Suppose I have added it over here. So I have created my map secret decryption profile. I have my SSL certificates and keys in my key vault, okay, which will decrypt my outgoing traffic, which is going out of my OCI for the internet, and I have defined in my role for Oracle star.oracle.com and star.facebook.com. For for linkedin.com, it will needs to disallow that. It will not allow that. Now the fourth entity which comes over here is rules. Okay. These are the rules. So you have created list, you have created application list, you have created URL list, and then you have created your IP address list. Then you have created map secret and decryption profile. This is the thing which you need to provide over here. That is decryption rule and the security rule. So whenever the traffic is coming in or out of this firewall, the firewall applies rules to an incoming packet in the following order, okay, which is coming onto the firewall. So it will evaluate the decryption rules in priority list order. So you can create, see here, decryption rules are enforced before security rules. Create a maximum of 50 decryption rules. You can create a maximum of 50 decryption rules in a single policy. So I have created a single one over here. I'll create a single one over here which says that source IP address, that is any, destination IP address, any. So if it is coming from any IP address and going for any IP address, decrypt that particular traffic with Ssl Forward Proxy. If it is for inbound connection, you just have to give it as decrypt traffic with Ssl Inbound Inspection. If you do not want to decrypt it, do not want to decrypt. But I am putting it over here, decrypt traffic with Ssl Forward Proxy, because I am using Ssl Forward Proxy over here. So I'm not going to create it because I have already created. I'll show you in my next demo. I'll cancel it. Now when you go to, once the decryption rules have been created, the incoming traffic to the firewall, it will check the decryption rule. If it will not match, then it will go ahead and check the security rules in the priority order. So I'll create a security rule like this. How can I create a security rule? So I have added RDP, right? I want any IP address over the internet to access my workloads, okay, over RDP. That is my Windows machine. It can do a RDP. So I'll just say RDP over here. For source, if you are having a public IP address range, put it over here. Put it in the IP address list and put that IP address list over here. I do not have any public IP address range at present. So I'll put any IP address over the internet. Either you or me can access it. But if you're having any IP address range, please put it over here. That is for the security. Destination IP address, I have any IP address over here because I am not created. But in my demo, I have created the destination IP address as my Windows machine IP address over here. I'll need to go for not any protocol. I need to go for RDP over here, which I have created. That is RDP for switch statement. Now in URLs, I cannot say allow URL because it is a RDP application. It is not coming for HTTP or HTTPS. Okay, so I need to go for any URL. So what it says is a and plus and. It's not or, it's and. So it will check the first any IP address plus any IP address, then plus RDP, then plus any URL. If we'll put deny URL or allow URL over here, it will check that URL, and if it will not find that URL in AND option, it will drop the traffic. So need to put any URL for the applications which are working on ports. Okay, that is either UDP, TCP. Okay, for ICMP2 actually. The ICMP is a layer 3, but for ICMP also you need to choose any URL only. So I have, and for the rule action now I have around 5 rules. Allow traffic. Okay, I have allowed the traffic. Okay, it is allowing the traffic. Drop traffic. Drop traffic means it will drop the traffic. It will not send a reset option for my client. That is known as drop traffic. It will directly drop the traffic. It will not send a reset option. That is known as drop traffic. If you want your clients or anyone not to get a reset option, just to drop that particular traffic, drop it. Okay. Intrusion detection, that is IDS. If you want the traffic to be detected and get logged, then just put intrusion detection. Okay. Intrusion prevention. If you want the traffic to be logged, see, and if there is any malicious activity happening over there, just prevent the traffic to come to our workload and get dropped over there, you need to say IPS, that is intrusion prevention. Reject traffic. See, drop traffic and reject traffic. Reject traffic is same as drop traffic, only reject traffic will send a reset option to the clients. If you want that, you can go for reject traffic. For this, I am allowing the traffic because by default everything is denied. If I am creating a rule for RDP, other ports are denied by default. So I am going to save the change and cancel it. So this is how a policy works. So list, map secrets, rules, review and create. And I have created a policy already. I'll show you my policy over here. So this is the policy which we are going to use in our demo. We are going to have 3 use cases over here. Okay. And I'll go one by one for each use case. I'm going to share my PPT now for the first use case, and then again we'll do the second demo. So tell me once you can see my PPT.
All good, Sachin. All good.
Okay, you can see my PPT. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So annotate, and I'll take the spotlight over here. Spotlight. Okay. So this is our first use case. So as I've told you, you should be aware of what VCN is, what an internet gateway is, okay, what is north-south traffic. So I'm going to use those terms over here. So this is my VCN over here, which you can see. This is my virtual cloud network on OCI. This is my public DMZ subnet, which is having my network firewall device as an entity, okay. And I've already created a policy and attach it over there on the network firewall. This is my public subnet, and I have created 2 machines into this. One is my Linux box and the second one is my Windows box over here. Now I want those machines to be SSH or to be RDP on directly, not from the internet gateway from here to here, but through our network firewall, okay, so that I can monitor that traffic. So can it be done? So our OCI Network Firewall, it is a north-south traffic, that is traffic coming outside of Oracle data center. Okay, that is why it is known as north-south traffic, not within OCI. Okay, so it will come through internet gateway like this. It will go to my network firewall. Network firewall will check the rules which I have applied over there for my machines, and then it will send it to my Windows or Linux machine over here. What is the routing which I need to set up? So this is the routing. This is my internet gateway. 10.0.0.0/16 is my VCN address range. Okay, and in my demo I'm using some other address range. This is just for showcasing. This is my DMZ subnet, that is 10.0.2.0/24. My firewall device is 10.0.2.2. My public subnet is 10.0.1.0/24. Now when the traffic is coming over internet gateway should have a route to go for 10.0.2.2.2, that is my firewall device, if it is destined for my VCN address range. It will go to the firewall, and firewall it will forward it to the public subnet over here. For the traffic which is originating from my public subnet, it should have a default route for my firewall as the next stop. Okay, and my firewall will send that traffic to my internet gateway, which is the default route to the internet gateway, and the traffic will go to the internet again. Now this is a pictorial view. Okay, I believe you'll get more understanding once I'll show you on how it can be done on our OCI console. So you can see my OCI console, right? Okay. So
Sachin, all good?
Okay, thank you. So this is my network firewall policy which I've created. Before that, I would like to show you what is the virtual cloud network I've created over here. And this is my virtual cloud network. So I've created two networks over here, firewall network and spoke VCN. I will talk more on firewall network over here because of the first use case. That is the traffic which is coming over the internet, it should go through my network firewall. Okay. In this VCN, I am having an address range of 192.168.0.0/16. I have created a network firewall with an IP of 192.168.1.135. So how I have created the routing. So this is my public, this is my firewall subnet. Okay, this is my internet gateway. I have created a route for the incoming traffic which is coming over from the internet to my workloads. That whatever traffic is coming for 192.168.0.0/16, take it to the firewall. This is the first routing which I have shown in the diagram. In parallel, I'll show you the diagram also. This is the routing which I have shown just now. Then on my subnet, that is my public subnet, where I am having my workloads. Public subnet, the route table which is attached over here, that is public route table. It is having a default route to go for 192.168.1.135. Don't look up for the other routes. I will discuss them later actually in my use cases. 192.168.1.135. What is this route then? Okay, this is the route for my public subnet having a default route to go for my firewall device. Okay, then the routing which is left is my firewall subnet. That is my firewall subnet over here. Firewall subnet. I should have a default route for my internet gateway. See, this is my default route for my internet gateway, and you can see this in this diagram over here. That is default route to the internet gateway. So we are set up with the route tables over here. The instances which I have set for my Windows and Linux machine for my hub, for my Palo Alto Firewall VCN is Windows hub machine with a public IP of 129.146.119.142 and hub Linux with public instance, that is 129.146.201.118. Okay, what are the rules have been set up on my firewall? Let us see for these machines. So this is the network firewall. The policy which is attached with this network firewall is new decryption firewall policy. Let us just see and go to the security rules. So I have created a rule for this machine, which is my hub Linux machine. Okay, for the traffic which is coming from any IP address over the internet. Okay, and destined for my hub Linux machine. Allow for TCP port number 8440. Leave that for now, but SSH allow for port number 22 for any URL. So I will be able to do a SSH onto my Linux machine. Okay, and the same traffic I could see in the logs also. I'll show you. Then I have created one more rule for my Windows machine, that is hub Windows machine. if the traffic is coming with any IP address, I'm again saying you, it is any IP address over here because I have not defined my public IP address over here. If your company is having an address of public IP address in this, please define over here. So any IP address, hub Windows machine, RDP 3389 or any URL. So with these two rules, I'll be able to do a SSH and do a RDP onto my Linux and Windows machines separately. So let us see whether I can do it or not. So instances. So this is my Windows machine. Let us see whether I'll be able to do the RDP or not. Okay. Just come here. And this is my IP, I believe. Connect. Perfect. So I am able to take the RDP from my public IP, from this role, from that role. I will just log into this machine and just keep it like that. Okay. I am logged into the machine. Now there is one Linux machine also with the public IP this. And let us do a putty to this machine. Let us see whether I am able to go through the firewall to this putty machine or not on port number 22. Auth, browse. This is my private key. Open. And this guy is allowing me. And I'm able to do a putty to my machine over here. Okay. Now we can ask actually why. Okay, these are the public IPs. What will define that it is not going directly from the internet gateway to my IPs over there? How I can define that? I can see that it is going through my firewall only. So we can see it in the logging section. Okay, so let me see what is my IP over here. What is my IP? So 122.172 or 84.164 is my IP. We'll see in the logs in some time whether you can see the logs over there from this IP for RDP and SSH. Before doing that, I have told you about decryption rules. Okay, I want to show you those decryption rules over here. So first decryption rules which I have created over here, what it says is that if the traffic is going from my hub Linux machine for map the secret for any IP address, okay, for any IP address over here, okay, to take decryption profile into the picture. With this rule, I have created one security rule also, that is allow 443 and 80 port number. Okay, this is the rule. It says any IP address. Okay, I have taken any IP address because I do not want to define my Linux or Windows IP address over here, but you can do that. Okay, like this, hub Linux machine. Destination, any IP address. TCP port number 80 and 443. That is port number 80 and 443. Allow it if it is destined for any, coming from any. And allow URL. What I am having in my allow URL, let us just see in list. In my allow URL, I am having star.oracle.com or www.facebook.com only. So if my workload wants to talk with these guys over there, over the internet, okay, I will allow only these guys. That is star.oracle.com or www.facebook.com. Other than that, I will deny everything. Let us see whether it is working or not. Okay, so I'll just say wget https www.oracle.com. Okay, it should work. See, it is working. HTTP. Now in the same case, suppose I'm going to take Google only, https www.google.com. okay, it should retry, but it should not be successful. So I can see it. So any other thing other than Oracle, okay, it is not allowing it for my user, for the workloads which are running on OCI. And the traffic is getting decrypted with the map secret which I've set over there. It will check the traffic for oracle.com and facebook.com both, and then pass the traffic over the internet. For others, it will not allow only. Why? Because I have created a rule to allow only my allow URL. That's it. So this is what I wanted to show you, how this decryption profile, how this rule allow URL is working in my firewall device. So I'll go to the rules again. We have checked allow 44380 allow SSH Hub Linux, allow RDP Windows Hub Machine. These three rules did tell you about the first use case. That is what? That is a traffic which is coming over the internet or going for the internet through internet gateway. It should pass from the network firewall. Now we will see these logs into our logging section. Let us see whether the logs have been there or not. So this is my IP, okay, and logs, where you can find the logs. So here, if I'll go to network firewall, duplicate it, okay, it will open or not. Let us see. It will open. Okay, it is opening. Okay. Okay. So if I'll go to firewalls over here, network firewalls, I will click on network firewall, and you can see a log section. I have told you, right? Our service is associated with OCI logging also. So here you can see the log. There will be both the logs, that is threat log and the traffic log. So we have not set the threat log yet. So we are going for the traffic log to see whether traffic is going from this firewall or not. So what we can see in the log section, I'll show you that. And guys, it could take, we can actually more 10 minutes for this session. So please bear with me onto that. So in the metrics section, if you'll go and just say explore log over here, explore with log search, I would be able to find, just say past hour over here. I have some logs over here, some good amount of logs, and I'll take my IP in account. Let us see what I could see in my IP logging. You can see anything? Okay, let us see what I can see on the logs. Okay, so I can see in this log, source IP is 122.172.84.164. That is my IP. Okay. And if I'll go for source port, it can be any. Rule which it is taking is allow-RDP-Windows machine. What is this rule? This is this rule, which I have just shown you. This rule it is taking. Okay, then when it goes to destination, 192.168.2.13 is my destination IP. Is it? Let us just check it. 192.168.2.13 is my destination IP. Okay, and it is going for destination port 335. Like this, you can check the logs. You can check the logs. What is going? You can monitor the logs. Okay, with our monitoring services, you can audit the logs also. So these are the logging sections for the first use case. We are having two more use case and less time over here, I believe. So I'll go through them now. For my second use case, this is the first use case which we have covered now. For my second use case, that is this one, and I'll just put it into presentation mode. So this use case is securing traffic between subnets in a VCN. So many customers of mine have asked whether your network firewall will be able to support intra-VCN routing, that is within the subnets, between the subnets in a VCN. So these are the two subnets, see, private subnet A and private subnet B. If I want from subnet A and subnet B to talk with each other and go over network firewall, yes, it is 100% possible. We'll see in the demo. What is the routing which needs to be set up? The routing which needs to be set up on subnet A is for the destination, that is my private subnet B, take firewall as the next stop, and same for private subnet B for the destination of subnet A, take next stop as the firewall device. Let us see this now. Okay, so I'll just minimize it. So network firewalls, I'll go to my virtual cloud networks and subnets over here. I would like to talk with the private instances from public subnet to private subnet, or from private subnet to public subnet through this firewall device which is in firewall subnet. So what is the routing which I have set in public subnet? So in route table, this is my other subnet. Go to the private IP. Okay, I've set it as I've shown you in the diagram. For my subnet, that is private subnet, what is the route which I have set? Route table, that is 192.168.2.0/24. Go to the private IP. Ignore the first one, that is for inter-VCN. That is okay. The routing has been set. So whatever traffic is originating from both of the subnet, it should go from the firewall device. Now we'll see the rules. Okay, these are the instances which I have created. Instances, private Windows hub I have created in the second subnet with an IP of 192.168.3.42. Private Linux hub 192.168.3.49. They are in different subnet, they are in the different subnet. I'm going to let them talk with each other with the rules which I have set up on the network firewall. So in my policies, go to the rules. These three rules we have covered for the traffic which is coming over the internet, for north-south traffic over the internet gateway. Now I have ICMP private Linux hub over here. Go over here. What it says is, if the source is hub Linux machine or hub Windows machine, destination is private Linux hub machine, private Linux. If it is meant for ICMP, allow it, allow. Okay. So you'll be able to ping private Linux machine from my hub Windows and Linux machine. Okay. And the second rule, what it says, if the traffic is from source hub Windows machine, destined for my private Windows machine, allow RDP. So what I have not allowed over here, what I have not mentioned over here. So these guys, that is hub Linux machine and hub Windows machine, will be able to ping this IP, that is private Linux hub, but it will not be able to ping private Windows hub because I have not mentioned that. I have mentioned only RDP. They cannot do a SSH to this private Linux hub because I have not mentioned SSH over here. Only ICMP for private Linux and only RDP for private Windows. Let us see that. So these are my instances. This is my Windows. Okay, I have not created an ICMP rule for this, so I should not be able to ping this. Let me just say and go for the command prompt. Okay, ping, paste it. Let us see. Destination host or destination network unreachable. That is, I am unable to reach this particular guy. Okay, because I have not allowed ICMP for it in the rule, but I have allowed RDP. So let us see whether I can able to take a RDP connection to this or not. So see, I can able to take that RDP connection. Okay, so I've just shown you and over here, and I've just cancelled it. 1 minute. So I am able to take RDP connection, but I'm unable to ping that. Now I will check for my Linux machine. I will be able to ping that Linux machine. Let us see. Let us do RDP. This is my hub Windows machine. Okay. And this is my Windows machine, which is I am accessing from subnet to subnet over RDP, and I am able to do that. I'm cancelling it now. Now I will take my Linux machine. Where is my Linux machine? Here. I should be able to do a ping because ICMP I have allowed for it. So ping, ICMP paste, allow. See, you can see it. It is able to ping it because ICMP rule is created for it, and ICMP rule is not created for Windows machine. That's why destination net unreachable. So within 2 subnets, my traffic is still going over the firewall. Okay, how to identify without seeing the logs? Just do a trace out, trace RT to my Linux machine, paste. The next hop should be my firewall. Is it coming? See, it is coming. My next hop is network firewall.firewall subnet.firewall.put. That is my 192.168.1.135. So every traffic from different subnets is going from the firewall device. So this is my second use case. Perfect. Second use case within the VCN, it is done. Okay, that is east-west traffic. Okay, north-south traffic, which is coming over the internet gateway, it is done. Now I'll showcase you the traffic over the dynamic routing gateway within 2 VCNs, and it can be done from on-premises to OCI or IPsec fast connection too. So this is my PPT, which I'm going to show here. Okay. So this is the third use case. Okay, that is securing traffic over DRG. In this use case, I can see customer premises equipment site-to-site VPN, but it can be done with as an inter-VCN also in a hub and spoke model, with which most of my customers actually do. They'll ask for a centralized architecture where they can put their network firewall in hub VCN for monitoring purposes or for the rules which they have set. and for the traffic which is going for the spoke VCN. So I'll show you that how a spoke and a hub VCN can be connected over DRG, how a routing can be created for hub and spoke, and how the traffic can be monitored for that. So this is the third use case, and I'm going to show you on the console. Better to show on the console. Okay, and stop video. Okay, then
Sachin, sorry for interrupting. Might be worth mentioning that we might overrun a bit the session, but I think there are a lot of interesting things that will be shown. So if you can, please stay with us. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Maya, for that. This is the last use case. So so the last use case says that virtual cloud networks. This is my hub VCN over here. There is virtual cloud network with an address range of 192.168.0.0/16, and this is my spoke VCN, that is 162.16.0.0/16. In a spoke VCN, I am having two private subnets, private subnet 1 and private subnet 2. In private subnet 1, I am having a spoke Linux machine. In private subnet 2, I am having a Windows machine, Windows box over here, and I am connected with a dynamic routing gateway attachment over here. The dynamic routing gateway is common DRG, and what routing I have set up, okay, from spoke to hub and hub to spoke, I'll show you over here. So in private subnet, when I go for route table, I have created default route. Whatever traffic is originating from my private subnet machine of spoke, it should go to the dynamic routing gateway. When I go to dynamic routing gateway, there is common DRG, and see the attachment for my firewall VCN, that is firewall DRG attachment over here. What route I have set up? Okay, so this is the VCN route table for the DRG, and the route table, when the traffic is reaching to my dynamic routing gateway, a default route is there for 192.168.1.135, that is my firewall device. And the when the traffic, and I have defined the specific routes also for my different subnets. That is, this one is my one of the subnets of hub. This is the second subnet of the hub to go for 1.135. Okay, now the traffic is going for 1.135 over here, and then it is going to the subnets respectively. For subnets, that is my for private and public subnets, what routes I am having is, let us see in the route table. So it says that when the traffic is destined for my spoke VCN, don't go to DRG directly. First go to your firewall device. Then from firewall device, it should go to the DRG. Okay, let us see in firewall device we are having a DRG route or not. So in subnets, firewall subnet, and in firewall subnet route table, I am having a route for my spoke VCN that go for the common DRG only. So this is how a hub and spoke DRG routing works, okay, which is actually sending all the traffic within different subnets of hub and spoke, okay, to go over the firewall. So let us check that. So this is my instance. These are my instances. This is my private Linux spoke 1 with 172.16.1.193, private Windows spoke 1 with 172.16.2.220. Let us see what rules I have set up over here. So network firewall policies. So Intravision routing is done for first three for north-south over the internet gateway. Then after that, the two are for intravision routing. Now for intravision routing and the traffic which is coming over the DRG. So these are the one. So RDP private Windows spoke 1, what it says? It says if the traffic is originating from my hub Windows machine or private Windows hub machine, RDP should be allowed if it is for my private Windows spoke 1, that is in the different VCN itself. Then it says ICMP should be allowed for private Linux spoke 1. So only ICMP is allowed for Linux machine, but not for Windows. Let us just check it. Sorry. Let us just check it. So instances. So I have allowed ICMP for this guy in my spoke VCN from my hub VCN. Let us just see whether I am able to ping it or not. Paste it. Let's just see it. I am able to ping it because I have allowed only ICMP. I'll not be able to do SSH onto this Linux machine because there is no such rule. Now I'll see for this guy over here that am I able to do the ICMP, that is ping. So it will say no, destination not reachable because I have not created any such rule over there. paste it, okay, put it, destination net unreachable. But what I have allowed is RDP. So I'll go for MSTSC over here, put it over here. Okay, wait a minute. This is 172.16.2.20. Okay, MSTSC, same. MSTSC 2.20 is there, connected. Yes, I am able to access it. So this provides you how the routing between VCNs over DRG works. This routing can work on the connections from on-premises over IPsec and fast connect connections too. Okay, for hub and spoke model. So today I'm just reviewing it before ending my session now. Today we have discussed on how policies can be created, how rules can be created, what is decryption profile, what are map secrets, what is vault in OCI in a brief, that is what is vault in OCI. And then we have created 3 scenarios and checked them in our lab whether it is working well or not. How logging will work, how logs you can see on OCI, we have checked that. You can integrate our network firewall with OCI monitoring services for alarms and all. You can do whatever you can do with your network gateway firewall from marketplace with OCI Network Firewall. It is by Palo Alto. So yes, it is very reliable source of security. As you know, it is according to the market standard, Palo Alto comes on to first or second place for the network firewall. So this is me. And if you have any questions, you can ask me now, if we are having some time left.
All right, so I think it's time for Q&A now. Sachin, would you like to pick some of the questions?
Yes. I'm more than happy. If everyone is still on the call, okay, I'll take question one by one. I have some 5 minutes, no worries on that. So Atul, first question is for Atul. Actually, these are very interesting questions. So I cannot ignore them actually. How to decide to use network firewall over NSG or Ssl? So Atul, the answer to your question is, most of our customers, what they do is they will allow everything on network security list for their subnets and take a centralized format for to allow or deny anything onto the firewall. In this way, they can manage everything in a centralized management over network firewall. So I hope that answer your question. You can use NSG Ssl anytime, but yes, if it is actually going for a hub and spoke or going for a centralized model to have a network firewall, it is always good to have everything in centralized manner on a network firewall itself by having IP address list over there. So as I've shown you in my demo. So that is the first question. Second question is, what is the purpose of deny rule if by default everything is done? That is a very good question, Abhishek. So what is the purpose of deny rule if by default everything is denied? Because if deny rule, what it does is, by that rule, if you want, I have told you that if you want your users on OCI to actually not search for any jobs while working in your company, you want to deny those that linkedin.com, okay, to be accessed. So with that rule name, that is deny all rule name, you can actually easily search for that particular traffic in your logging section. So you can see that yes, who has accessed linkedin.com into that particular denial rule. So it will be easy for you in the logging section. Then comes, Neil, right? Do you have an OCI diagram that shows where in an architecture this would be deployed? Yes, we have OCI diagrams. It has been shared with you on the useful resources in the PPT. You can check it out. Yes. Akbar is saying, how many instances of our firewall would I need to provision to secure north and south and east and west traffic? Can I do this from one firewall instance and just set different rules? Yes, Akbar, I have shown you both north-south traffic from internet gateway and both east-west traffic for the intra-VCN and inter-VCN, and same can be done for fast connect IPsec, which is coming from on-premises to OCI. So yes, it can be done. I have shown you with a single instance only. Okay, then the question comes for Ahmed. Can we deploy this firewall on private peering concept? Yes, you can do that. You can do that. Then Neil is again asking, is it in the intention that the network firewall replaces or augments the use of network security list or network security list? groups, you can actually use network security list and network security groups too. But if you want to have more granular, stateful network filtering work onto your workloads, you can go in a centralized manner on your firewall device, as I've answered. Is network firewall replacing security list? Does this feature impacting the network latency? Okay, is network firewall replacing the security list? Security list and network security groups are something which are not getting replaced. If in case you are not going to use OCI Network Firewall, you can always use those network security lists and network security groups on instance level and network security list on subnet level. But if you are using our firewall, you can make a centralized IP address list and manage the things over there by allowing everything onto your subnets. Okay. I think I have answered all the questions. If there are any other questions, I am more than happy to answer via on Slack channel.
That being said, I would like to thank you all for attending, to say a big thank you to Sachin for presenting. Thank you and have a great day.